So most people have heard the line that the Israelites were in Egypt for 430 years. But when you actually read the scriptures carefully, that's not what happened. So let's walk through this slowly and carefully. So the first thing that we're going to be looking at is Shemot, which is Exodus 12, 40, and 41. And the sojourn of the children of Yisra'el who lived in Mitzrayim was 430 years. And it came to be at the end of the 430 years, on that same day, it came to be that all the divisions of Yahuwah went out from the land of Mitzrayim. The key word here is sojourn. The Hebrew word here that is used is moshab, which is H4186. It means dwelling, residence, settlement, not just bondage. This included the entire time that they lived as sojourners, not only the time spent in Egypt. Now here's where people miss it. If you add up the generations inside the text itself, you physically cannot stretch their time in Egypt to 430 years. Let me show you. So Yahuwah gave the covenant promise to Abraham. So from Abraham to the birth of Isaac is about 25 years. And in Bereshith, which is Genesis 12:4, it tells us that he was 75 years old. And then if we go a little bit past that to Bereshith, again Genesis 21:5, Abraham is 100 when Isaac is born. So that is a 25-year gap between the covenant and Isaac's birth. Next, from Isaac to Jacob, Bereshith 25:26 says Isaac was 60 years old when Jacob was born. Next is when Jacob enters Mitzrayim. So Bereshith 47:9, which is Genesis, in case you didn't remember. Jacob tells the Pharaoh, the days of my sojourning are 130 years. He says this as he arrives in Egypt, y'all. So we know exactly how old he was when they entered. Now let's add up those numbers together. 25 from Abraham to Isaac, 60 from Isaac to Jacob, 130 Jacob entering into Egypt. That is a total of 215 years before Israel ever steps foot in Mitzrayim. So when Shemot, which is Exodus, says the total sojourning years was 430 years, you subtract the 215 years that were spent in Canaan before Egypt, and that leaves 215 years actually in Egypt, not 430. And this is actually confirmed in the New Testament. Let's look at Galatians, which is Galatians 3, verses 16 and 17. So it was saying here, now I say this, Torah that came 430 years later does not annul a covenant previously confirmed by Elohim and Messiah so as to do away with the promise. So Shaul here is literally telling us the 430-year clock starts with the covenant of Abraham and ends with the giving of the Torah at Sinai, which happens after the Exodus. So y'all, that 430 years cannot be time spent in Egypt. It is the entire span from covenant to Sinai. Now, let's go back to the original prophecy Yahuwah gave Abraham in Bereshith, Genesis 15:13. And he said to Abram, know for certain that your seed are to be sojourners in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. There's that word again, sojourners. This is that same idea as the word moshab, living as foreigners. So Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were sojourners in Canaan long before Egypt. Even the ancient Septuagint reads, let me read, the sojourning of the children of Israel in the land of Canaan and Egypt was 430 years. That phrasing matches exactly what the math in the Torah is already showing us. So total sojourning, 430 years. Sojourning before Egypt, 215 years. Years actually in Egypt, 215 years. That is the timeline straight from scriptures. There's no assumptions, there's no traditions, no extra commentary added on. Just the text as it is written. I hope that was not confusing for y'all.